Chapter 3, Sverdlovsk. This world would look much better on a mantle covered in flames. Major McCurdy sat in her office, a square grey room with a large thick window of bulletproof glass and an iron door. Her desk was also grey, but with a brown wooden frame. It was quiet, for sure, as it always was at 0400 MSK. She had all the solitude and privacy that could be afforded to her on the remote Sverdlovsk base. Though the location was above top secret, unknown even to Moscow itself, she still felt the need to be up and in her office at 0400 to get an even deeper sense of privacy. She yawned as she took a sip of her coffee, watched her computer screen, monitored the emails, surveyed vehicles driving by, not suspecting anything at the side of the Ural Mountains. She scanned every single suspicious car. A pang of hurt shot through her each time the framed photo of her uncle caught her eye. She never thought to move it. She only thought of her uncle and what he would have suffered 8 years ago. She had to keep his photo up. Someone had to be there to remember. An email popped up on her screen. It was a report from the CBRN team. The radiation at the top of the mountain spiked up again. This time, the levels clocked in at 1.294 sieverts. These levels were 3 times higher than the last peak. Scrolling through the report, she noticed it was isolated as usual, but substantially higher up than it normally occurred. She skimmed through the rest of the report, explaining the abnormality of the event being instantaneous and without currently detectable residue. And again through the paragraph suggesting closer investigation to find residue. Radiation. The ruse we created to have a team of regulars monitoring it. If it were a natural occurrence, yes, there'd be residue. She sighed, knowing she would have to head up this wild goose chase for residue radiation. But if I went alone, it would only raise unnecessary suspicion. She knew that it was only a matter of time before the higher-ups would want a full-scale investigation to find out why the radiation levels are sporadically spiking, but this wasn't natural radiation. A caster from someone's administrative branch was operating where they shouldn't be. It's about time to send someone up there. However, the administration's going to want to hear about this. She put her hand on her handset and breathed in. She marked the handset with an insignia shaped like a vein. The phone gave off a green aura. No one could trace this call. The wires were now heavily insulated with Hermana. "Admin Colton?" the strict voice answered. "Admin Colton, Major McCurdy here. I just received a report about increasing levels of radiation. I'm reading 1.294 sieverts. That's not the odd part. The odd part is that it shortly dissipated with no trace. I think some unknown is operating here. Is this cause for concern for the administration? Location Devil's Pass." "Yes, that's not radiation," he answered. "I need you to see to it. Whoever it is, and report back. You know what to do. Admin Colton out." She returned the phone back to the receiver. She removed her mana from the phone. She immediately went to the radio to call in the CBRN team. "This is Major McCurdy. Report in." "Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Nguyen reporting," a voice returned. "Wake your squad up. Report down in the briefing room. Now," she ordered. "Yes, Major," his voice clicked out. "And now I have to get people killed that don't need to be involved. There has to be a better way," she said to herself. "We're devils. We all deserve to die horribly for the things we've done. Damn it all to hell. I'm always in these situations, getting these men and women killed. They have nothing to do with any of this, but protocol is protocol." She sighed, breathing heavily as she brushed a hand through her hair. She put on her officer's cap on her head. She printed the most recent report. She put it in a separate file and walked out of her office. She briskly walked down the stairs and into the now empty briefing room. She went to the desk, in front of the desk, and put her folder down, waiting impatiently for the squad to show up. Just as she was thinking about calling again, they all came in single file. Specialist Adams, Sergeant Nguyen, Captain Gongora, and Warrant Officer Lee. She smiled as they all came in. "At ease," she said, waiting for them to sit down. The familiar but unwelcome lump filled up her chest with guilt. "All fine men. It's unfortunate, really. They are going to see something they are unallowed to see. Sorry, I'd do this myself if I could, but I can't go alone without raising suspicion. I wish you could say your goodbyes, but this is how it must be. I'm sorry."